Alright, so today we are looking at the Traditions flintlock pirate pistol. They come in 50 caliber and they are obviously a muzzle loader and they have a 10-inch barrel. So starting out, the first thing you'll notice about these guns is the wood and everything about them is very beautiful. They really do a nice job on selecting wood and finishing it. It's got brass fittings, got a brass butt cap on there, real nice. A little bit of brass inlay there. Brass trigger guard, brass trigger, and then it's a steel polished barrel and a steel lockup. Really nice, really beautiful gun, and I've had it sitting on top of my safe displayed for quite a while, and it always looks nice sitting there. So definitely something different. You don't see these every day, and they are kind of a niche part of the shooting world. You know, it's certainly not your Glock. It does not take Glock mags, for anybody wondering. Now, in the original intro where I showed me loading it, I suppose that YouTube might consider that against their new guidelines, because I did technically show you how to manufacture ammunition by showing you how you would create the charge for this gun. So if this video gets taken down, that'll probably be why. So as far as it being nice, that's actually one of the downsides of it. Is not so much a downside, just something I've noticed, is because the wood is so nicely finished and the grip is so smooth, I have found that unless you're holding it extremely tight, it can sometimes slide through your hands if your hands are a little sweaty, and it will kind of slide back a little in your hand. Really not that big a deal, and if you wanted to remedy it, a couple Ranger bands, or even, you know, maybe, I don't know, I'm sure you could take some kind of grip sleeve and put it on there temporarily, and that would fix the issue. Really not a problem at all, and like I said, if you grip it firmly, it kind of eliminates the issue. Just something I've noticed because of how smooth the wood is. So, the trigger on it is actually something I didn't realize when I first bought it. Was it's got an adjustable trigger. You can adjust the how light it is, which is a really nice feature, because when I first got the gun, I thought it was terrible because the trigger was set all the way, the set screw was all the way in on it, and it had an extremely heavy trigger. Probably, I mean, I would be, if you told me it was 15 pounds, I probably would have believed you, because it was insanely hard to pull, to the point where it was impossible to be accurate with it, because you had to put so much pressure on the trigger to pull it. It was not fun to shoot. Upon taking the gun apart for cleaning, I noticed that you could adjust it, and upon doing so, it lightens it up to a very nice trigger. You know, certainly not a match grade trigger, but definitely one that's very serviceable and a lot of fun at the range. So, trigger on it, they're real nice. Your sights. They're actually fairly good sights, just your standard notch and then blade in the front, and certainly better than what you would have had on an original pistol if in this style. And the one thing I noticed is they're dovetailed in, meaning that I guess if you really wanted to, you could probably change out the sights if you looked hard enough to find ones that would work for this particular gun. You know, it would be kind of entertaining to see some tritium night sights or something on there, you know, just as a joke. But, you know, I'm not quite sure how much extra work it would require to get that to work. But, you know, if you really wanted to, I guess you could, because you can remove the sights. Other than that, it's just standard blade and notch. So as far as ammo, now it's 50 caliber, and you can fire patched round ball, or you can fire what I fire, which is, these are hand cast lead, and it's kind of a take on a modern target Manet ball as the expansion chamber in the back, and they're pretty good size. So I would imagine you could probably use something like this for hunting if you wanted to. But it's really nice because one of the nice things about black powder is you can cast your own ammo. So I've had good luck with the modern target Manet ball, and they're a lot of fun shooting it with that. Doing it like that eliminates the need for a patch, although originally it would have used a patch round ball. So definitely a fun thing to shoot there. Now the one negative thing I've noticed, and I mean I'm sure that if I asked the company they'd probably send me a new one, is the screw that holds the flint into the hammer. It's partially stripped to the point where if I tighten it too much, it strips out. So I have kind of had to set it in there, and every once in a while it will loosen up. Now I'm quite sure that if I ordered a new screw and Loctited it in with some purple Loctite, it would probably fix the problem. But just something I noticed, I'm sure the screws are probably made in China or somewhere other than the good old US of A. So they're not the highest of quality screw, but a very minor issue for an otherwise really fun to shoot gun. They really truly are just a range gun. I suppose you could hunt with it if you wanted to, but you'd really be limiting yourself at that point to hunt with a single shot 50 caliber flintlock. I'd imagine it'd be a pretty cool experience, but I've never hunted with it. For me it's always been a target gun, which it actually is a nice target gun. After I adjusted and fine-tuned the trigger, you can actually get a really nice group out of it once you dial in everything and figure out your charge and everything else. So definitely a cool gun. If you're looking to get into something like that, I would certainly suggest looking at something like this. It's a lot of fun to shoot black powder, and one of the things that makes it more fun to shoot a single shot black powder than versus a revolver is these are a lot easier to clean. I've had several revolvers and still do, and I occasionally shoot them, but I find myself shooting this a lot more often because this is so much easier to clean. Literally you just have to run hot water and soap down the barrel, run a brush down it, and then patch it out until it comes out clean. Clean out the lock and oil everything back up, and you're good to go. Which obviously a revolver, you've got averaging 6 cylinders that each have to individually be cleaned, and then the mechanism and the barrel and everything else. It can take a lot of time. So definitely a fun gun, and certainly something that if you're looking to get into black powder, this is certainly a good starter gun to have. If you're don't want to jump into full-blown rifle, because the charges on these pistols are a lot lower than it would be on the comparable rifle. So definitely a fun gun to shoot. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and have a good day.